to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll say a quick prayer.
Yeah, man.
It was prayer time. Cut it out, man. We in the midst of prayer. Read the thing.
Oh.
Heavenly Father, we want to say thank you for allowing us all to be here safely. Let us have a nice week. Let us be agreeable even in our disagreements. For moving. Amen.
Sign in the sheet is in the back.
We got one.
Right. Everybody has to sign in. Well, everybody got to sign in. You don't sign in, you can't be part of the raffle.
Good morning, everybody. The treasurer's report. Does everybody have a copy of the treasurer's report? At the back table, does everybody have a copy of the treasurer's report?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So the previous balance started at $108,760.58. Deposits was $35,553.13. Debits $37,350.55. Of the debits, regular checks paid $17,326.41. Electronic withdrawals $15,942.60. Other debits $4,079.54. There were no service fees or charges. For the money market account, the previous balance was $13,828.07. Interest earned was 57 cents for a balance in the money market of $13,828.64. The Premier Checking total balance at the end of April was $106,963.14 for total assets of $791,778 for the start of May. Just want to reiterate, this past month, of course, taking care of things leading into June, making sure that we registered on time, as well as if anybody recognized, but we did get the parking lot fixed, so that's a bonus. But just, of course, continue to be prepared as we, start to go into summer. We started to narrow down our arbitration list so that it's a more steadfast process. So, again, be prepared for those things. And then, of course, when the trip in D.C. actually does happen, those will take effect as well. Is there any comments, questions, or concerns? Yes, sir.
Thanks for fixing the parking lot. It's noticeable right away. It was probably the most gnarly thing about the Union Hall coming here. Like Kevin said this morning, it's lucky nobody drove in it. And it must have cost us a bundle. Can you give us any statistics on that?
The bill for that was $2,850.
What's done?
Any other comments, questions, or concerns?
Need a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Wayne Crawford.
Is it second? Tim? Quinn? All in favor of approving the budget? Please so by the sign of aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion approved. Passed. Committee reports, two reports at this time. Starting, in fact, Stewart, officer still identified himself. That kind of got lost. So, Tim Quinn, Secretary of State's Office.
Oh,
What was that? Steve Hunter?
Medical Center, Stewart.
Okay. Wayne Crawford, Student Life.
Lala, OSU Medical Center.
Crystal Harris, Student Life.
Miracle on Medical Center.
Jason Lacey, FOD.
All right. It's also time for Stewart's report. You want to start with the report, Mr. Hunter, what time is OSU
Right now, nothing's really pretty much happening. We're still getting new hires, but they're still leaving. Same amount almost. Basically, that's it. There's nothing really happening. There was a couple of questions about the apprenticeship program, and I did get some answers on that.
Okay. Lala or Miracle, will report out of OSU Main Hospital.
Miracle.
Yeah, give a report, OSU.
The report from OSU is that we're still hiring EBS workers for the New James. We're actually taking back over some of the buildings that was recently outsourced, so that gives us more EBS workers. And the James also are custodial workers. They had them on a trial basis cleaning IV equipment, which is another one of our titles jobs, our storekeepers. So we're working on that. It's the first level grievance we just got an answer for. Pushing it to second level because we don't want one of our workers doing another one of our workers' work, so it won't take away the storekeepers. So trying to see where that's at as soon as the meeting gets scheduled. It was in a trial basis in the James. They're trying to move it to UH soon. So me and Kevin kind of had this conversation during this week, and we're just waiting to see what the next step is.
Mr. Lacey, hospital FOD.
Yeah, FOD, we actually brought back one of our buildings, Wills Student Health Center, which we had lost. It's about 3 employees. We just took that back, hired those positions. We think we're going to lift the hiring freeze here in the next month, so we may hire a few positions here in the next month or two. Right now, we're 453.5 FTEs, and that's where we have to be. So depending on what happens here in the next month or two, we could be hiring a few people, bringing them on. So other than that, we got the power plant privatization going on. JCRC, the classification review is still pending and moving forward, and that's where we're at in FOD right now.
Tim Quinn, SOS, is also report out about leadership.
Unfortunately, after fighting since September of last year, we have lost officially 7 members through layoff. Their last day is going to be May 27th. You know, it was a hard fight that between the local and myself and Kevin and Paula Dill, my chief steward down there. You know, we worked as hard as we could at it. Unfortunately, the political aspirations of one individual kind of overrode everything else that we did. We were, again, able to save 1, so, you know, we just have to be diligent, looking forward and making sure that they don't do this again. Other than that, everything at the SOS is quiet generally. So that's that for the SOS. The leadership training that Kevin and I attended last week in Toledo was the follow-up week to the first week we went to back in October. For the second year, Kevin and I, it was focused mainly on presentation skills. It was also discussing arbitration and how you need to prepare for an arbitration starting at that first level grievance. So that the first time that you write that grievance, you've got to be thinking in your head, what do I need to do to write this grievance so that I'm successful at arbitration? They gave a lot of good information as far as the kind of data that you need to collect. You don't necessarily need to have everything written in that grievance data-wise, but you want to be collecting that all the time. Also, re-cementing some coalitions, some friendships that we made over there, and having the ability to, if we need to call people, we've got people ready to come down. All in all, it was a good week.
That concludes school report and committee report. I just got here with Ed. I forgot the treasurer and lead chief steward of street lighting. Can I get a report out of street lighting?
Recently, we have found out that the department was trying to kind of simplify things for them for the reassignment for line kids, fighting that because some individuals still can't conceptualize that people respect their seniority, and that is the last thing that a lot of members have to hold on to is their actual seniority, so we're fighting that. So again, that's out of dining services. For EBS, it was recently found out, and Kevin and I had actually addressed this probably about 2 months ago, as far as student employees coming in to do work for starting at the south side of campus. From our understanding, it was a pilot program. Actually just finding out last week that the pilot program is up and running, reaching out to some members, and some members have actually expressed to me that they don't want me to address the concern, not conceptualizing that this is how you start to, contract out the work, so to speak. So understanding that members are able to get their weekends off and things like that. However, we also still have to be diligent and recognize that, again, it starts off with the small things. Students coming in to trash buildings and things like that, and before you know it, even though you have members that are always, and when I've spoken to some members, they're like, oh no, they're not going to clean these buildings. You have individuals, we need to understand that you have individuals that come from other countries that send money back home. So what we might not see is domestic students willing to do the work. Some international students are willing to do the work. So I believe that is a battle that we're going to come up against, and I know that members are going to be mad, but trust me when I say that both Kevin and I see eye to eye about saying that it's about preserving our union and preserving work and people wanting to leave when they want to leave instead of, again, going to contracting out or anything like that. And that is it for student life.
What's EBS?
I'm sorry, environmental services for student life.
Okay.
So I don't use the term as housekeepers because I think it's derogatory. So I like to use EBS. It's a profession regardless if some people want to believe it or not. And there are people in student life that are damn good at what they do. So I want to make sure that I provide the respect to them instead of saying they're housekeepers.
So we have management is bringing in EBS instead of regular titles?
So no, so you have the EBS staff that works in the dorms. So it was a pilot program. So for the dorms, they would work a rotating Saturday. Maybe one, depending on how large the building is, you might have you might work one Saturday a month, or one Saturday every 6 weeks, or anything like that. So now for on South Campus and also North Campus, they work Monday through Friday. They no longer do the rotation. And the reason being is because now they brought students in to do that Saturday work to, fill that gap or that void. And how it was the ticket to members, and I remember, and I spoke to the director at that time because I felt like it was a scare tactic. What he said is I want to make sure that you guys are able to be at home on Saturday and go to football games and basketball games for your family. So, of course, everybody else immediately are like, of course, yes, absolutely, I don't want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning once every Saturday. And let me say, it's not to say that I don't respect anybody Saturday, because I've been in dining where you work every other weekend, not just a Saturday, but Saturday and Sunday, working 2 to 11. So I realized that absolutely you want your weekend and you want to be able to stay with your children or whatever the case might be. However, sometimes, it's a give and take, it's a balance. I work one Saturday every 4 weeks or whatever, or I don't have a job, or I start to eliminate my job slowly but surely. And in student life, they've already started to, minimize the amount of people that are in buildings. At one point in time, you might have had 9 people that was in a building. Everybody does, of course. So like Park Stradley, Park Stradley is now, one of those big projects that they combine. So you would have one person that might do like a south wing of 7 and 8. but now they have a person that might do 7 in south and north of 7 and 8. So again, starting to spread people out or spread people thin about the work. So again, I think that this is another tactic. However, what we continue to hear is that this is their new standard, APA, and that they're producing data for the stakeholders. However, anybody knows that any type of proper analysis, you can't be the person that provides the data, evaluates the data, and then also gives any type of information. So the customers are not giving feedback. The employees are not giving feedback. The only individuals that are doing the feedback, assessing the work, and all this and all those things is management. That's not a proper analysis. There's no way statistics will tell you that anything. You can't produce a proper analysis if it's only one side of the table. And they continue to tell us, well, we're trying to make sure that it's beneficial for the members and that we keep them around and prevent any type of contracts. In my personal opinion, the university holds dorms and safety close to their chest. Not saying that you don't have this in the classrooms or anything like this, but these are these students' homes. So when you have contractors such as Goodwill that might have, a lower standard background check or anything like that, I think that they realize that that would be playing with their funds, with their income. So my personal belief is that they might start or pilot it and then would see the real feedback that they would get after trying to do that pilot. And I don't think that it would be successful. I hope that, sorry, that was long-winded.
Great parts to that answer. If I can, I don't want to follow up a lot, but at stores they're telling us 28 hours for students through the year and 38 hours scheduling students for the summer, and they heavily supplement the students. So I don't know if that's what you're being told. We have the same problems with data that you do. It's mainly management, collecting, analyzing, and putting forward the data. So it's the same kind of on-spot work experience in a store. And this is Mike Rittenhouse, by the way, his first meeting. He's the other storekeeper in the stores area, and I'm glad to see him here. I warned him about the parking lot, but he parked somewhere else. They just fixed the parking lot. So.
Good to see you, Mike, to be better than that. Why don't you go back there and sign in and, okay? Highly appreciate it.
He didn't park in the parking lots beside our
Parked
parking
at
lot.
like Dollar Tree.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully that's okay. Thanks, Crystal. There's
No
a
problem.
lot of that answer. I appreciate it.
Well, that concludes the student report, meeting report.
Bless you.
Yes, bless you back there. We'll get ready for the president's report. And I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to talk about some of the things that came to light yesterday, or I think came to light yesterday. We have a tendency to tape it. I know some people don't like it when I shut it off. But we're dealing with the university. The university is very secretive any more than things they do. Our issue is, and many issues, even in regards to the RFP, is that it is not transparent. There is no transparency. We don't know what we don't know. We don't know the particulars of it. We don't know the vendors. It's all considered to be proprietary information. Then we sit up and have a meeting, and we tell them everything we know. And they're on the arbitration list.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it will be arbitrated, but it is on the list.
So technically they're appealed to arbitration.
Technically, they're in the vacuum that could eventually end up having things being arbitrated. So what we have to do is make sure we protect the right to arbitrate. So it's the right, the right to arbitrate has been protected, but there'll be a more vetting on those particular issues before we arbitrate.
So we're within the 30-day.
We're always catching up, yes. You're on the
Okay.
list.
I wanted
That case on the list.
I wanted not to be disagree with Wayne, and I'm sorry Calvin left early, but Calvin and I have exchanged words on this, and oftentimes at the membership meetings, at the membership meetings, the membership gets scolded for not being active and not being involved and being apathetic. And as a member, I don't think I'm apathetic. I think Mike will attest to the fact that every day we work together, we talk about the union. I talk up the union when I'm at work, and I consider myself to be a very active member. And I wanted to say in defense of the membership that members are often kept in the dark as to what the issues are and what the union is fighting about. Where it's true they could come to the meetings and find out more, a lot of them don't make the meetings. And not only that, they're conditioned in the workplace, even in the course of grievance hearings. Mike and I are now working custodial duties as part of our job. We often don't have time to do those. There's a grievance being filed about their data and the kind of things that Crystal is talking about, and they insist on standards being applied in their evaluation process that they're sticking to. Those were abandoned shortly after the grievance hearing that said those standards were valid. They've withdrawn a lot of those standards, and the methods that they use for collecting data have blown apart. So the impression at the membership level of what's going on with management is the evidence doesn't matter, contradictions don't matter, the fact that management is in charge matters, and that you're being micromanaged, whatever the contract says. So the same things that are happening to us on privatization, the secrecy, the open violation of the contract, that's kind of the conditioning for members of the workforce who think, what can I do? I'm being set to custodial duties until this situation is resolved. I'm a storekeeper with a custodial. I'm not sure what's going on with the storekeepers at the hospital. But management conditions the workforce to a lot of the reaction we see from workers and the fear we see from workers. That's actively worked at by management in a way that puts people down and makes people disheartened about the union. And management knows that that's the impact, and they bully people. So I just wanted to say there are concerned and active members out there. Some who don't come to this meeting, who know better than what's happening to them in the workplace. But management is constantly bullying people, and it's institutionalized now. We don't have classification systems that are operative. They told us in a grievance hearing that our job specifications were merely illustrations, and they've taken the clerical work away from storekeeper ones. Mike has never experienced the storekeeper one with clerical duties in the mix, and information associates who are young and inexperienced, just up from students, are in charge with power they haven't got the judgment to exercise or utilize. Those people are backed by management, which is kind of a bullying. So we're seeing the influx of students, and what looks like to the leadership as member apathy. The members look at the leadership and they think leader apathy, nothing is being done. So last union meeting I asked Jason if this guy we hired for $4,000 to study the privatization deal with Ohio State, if there was information from that, could that information be transferred to the membership? Could the membership be brought aboard so they know there's some kind of union initiative that would give them hope about somebody being on their side and fighting on their behalf? I haven't seen any information on that yet. So if we can improve communication in a way that makes members feel more confident about the union, that would be great. And I consider myself a person who's fighting for the union, thinking about the union every day. And I know there are people like me, and people come up to me and talk about the union. I know somebody's contacted Jason, and Jason's been involved with a member. All that stuff really matters to the membership. So thanks for the good work that the leadership is doing. And let's not make capital out of our membership who suffers with the management the leadership fights with every day at the bargaining table. Any communication that goes on between members and leaders at the rank and file level, I'm for that. I hope that happens. So,
what we're going to say is that then we're going to move to another topic. Apathy is a word that is used. It's used across the nation, not just here. If you've got 22, 21, 1,900 members, and you got a traditionally crowd of 6, 8, or 11, 4 or 5 of us, 6 of us as officers, so really you got 9, and probably pulling the stewardship probably really only got 2 or 3. rank and file. Something is wrong with that issue. I'm gonna borrow Jason's line. Everybody knows we have a business meeting on the first Saturday of the month. We can get all the information in the world. We put out newsletters, we put out email blasts. You have to sacrifice something of your time. Everybody has to make them. They make them for whatever they happen to want to do, or they think is important to them. People will make sacrifices. And what has to happen is they begin to make sacrifices to be able to remain gainfully employed and to help us literally fight what is an attempt to destroy the wage structure in America. It's much bigger than just CWA. And most people, as you say, have been conditioned. But you accept some things or you don't accept some things. If that mattress get all messed up and your back, you'll accept for a while. So when you don't get a good mattress, because your back hurting to kill you. If your car raggedy and running around, you're going to change your conditions. And some things you accept and some things you won't accept. You just, I ain't going to accept that. We cannot just bow down to the conditions. And that's often we go back and forth. So that's how I see that. We can't just bow down to the conditions. We must push back against those things that rub us the wrong way. And most people do. They do it at home. They do it in their own personal relationships with their significant others. You know, Miracle said she got a man friend earlier today. In all relationships, there comes some pushing back. And we say they have to, but we have to become more involved, a more engaged body. We must become more engaged. No way to go around that. We must become more engaged. And don't think that we just say this at a membership meeting. When we get around the meeting, we tell them, you need to get more engaged. It's a meeting of leaders. Your executive VP told the district rep, what you doing? Everybody gets challenged. The national says to the district, what you doing? The district kicks back and say, we're doing whatever we're doing, and you need to do some more. Everybody pushes. That's the way this process works. We can't sit back and say we don't want to be pushed. Because otherwise, if you don't push them, nothing happens. It won't happen. I want to get Stephen back because he did old business for a while. Stephen, put up, give your business.
I have changed.
And I'm sorry, I do need a motion to extend and then you go. I need a second. All in favor? Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Now, go.
I'm going to bring mine up in new business.
All right. You got someone to take
I
that?
got a question about the 15 now.
Yes.
How is that going to affect or impact people making more than 15? Will they see that same step or that same bump?
The answer that originally is no. The conventional thought process is that the market will adjust. That's what we say in the rooms. We don't know what that adjustment looks like. Your skilled trades, you do whatever. You still supply, we're having trouble, ain't getting enough money over there. We believe that the floor becomes 15. You already having trouble here. You're going to have to adjust everywhere. So and in history, all pushes have always come from the bottom. So if we can move the base, everything else up to that begin to move here. Will it happen instantly? No. But will it happen? The answer is yes. that spread, that space, that gap in the middle, we believe that each thing will be eventually adjusted, the marketplace will adjust. That's the belief of what will happen in, with 15 now. In a lot of places, 15 now has looked like it may start at 12. And 18 months it gets to 15. Some people say, damn that, just go to, I'm serious, just go to 15. So that's the vision, the wisdom in New York. They went to 15. In California, they have it started at 12, boom, 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 boom. It takes about 2 years to get to 15. Seattle, I think they went just to 15. So it's been doing this, but in Cleveland and Columbus, I believe they're just talking about 15.
And is public sector going to be part of that? I mean, is that going to be, when they go to the city of Columbus, a lot of times they write regulation and it doesn't advise public sector.
No.
But so if that happens and we go to 15, I mean, some of our custodial workers are 9.50, 10, 10.50. You're seeing a $4, $5 hour jump. The budget's already this. Are we now going to be looking at massive layoffs because they can't afford to keep the extra, you know, they just increased their budget by 50%. Do we cut 50% of our employees? What happens on the backside of that? I mean, that sounds great up front, 15 now.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens on the backside when it starts laying off 15, 20, 30 people? Tim just faced it with the Secretary of State.
But we don't believe what happened at the Secretary of State is really about money. And that's about posturing. As much as they laid off, they also hired more, which they continue to do. Just sent people on 2 luxury trips around the world. He's not making a statement. It's the fact that they were tight on money, that was not even an issue. They claim they're inefficient, that they made too many mistakes or took them too long to answer the phone call, which we all know was a crock of shit. And I'm going to just say it right here at the table. They gutted the staff, and they're already too short. The phone calls are coming in, and they put them in positions where they couldn't. And sometimes you just can't answer people's concerns that quickly. It's just the nature of the business. So he used it, and they used it to grandstand. So we even believe that the laying off of the 7 would actually result in the layoff, more layoffs if we don't get very aggressive down here, because he's putting them in a position where he can't operate. And so eventually he's calling them, because he puts them somewhere where he can't operate, he says it's inefficient. See, because you made us inefficient, because we can't do the workload just too great. So in the end, it looks like more may come, and thus we're able to do some things to put a lot of pressure on the situation. For 15, as far as we're concerned, we too already skeleton through here. And it's skeleton through across the nation. What it really says is you're going to make a little less profit. But they'll do some adjusting. And honestly, when that happened in New York, with all the fast food workers, everything on the menu was raised by a dime. People think that's catastrophic, but that was accomplished by a dime raise. What they don't tell you is in Australia, it's $20 an hour in all fast food joints. That occurred by raising everything by a quarter. So we hear it and we say that, wow, how are they going to carry that? And I know that they can get an extra, they can go from making 10 or $7.85, they can now go to making 15 or making 20. Because then my Whopper costing me $2.75, it now costing me $3. That ain't gonna kill me. And it begins to make life a little bit better for them. Not gonna make it, but it begins to make it a little bit better. Average rent, and when we sit in these meetings in Columbus, is $915. But when you make it $7 and some change, $8 and change, it really takes you about 3 weeks to be able to make that. It used to say your rent was supposed to be a quarter of your pay, 25% of your pay. So we already upside down in the economic situation. That 15 is just trying to ride it a little bit. But that's the believing. If we get 15 as the floor, this up here has to begin to expand. Will your expansion be as great as what was on the bottom? Probably not. Will it might give you extra $2, extra $2.50, extra $3? Probably so. coming up, I don't know which to go first. Huh? You waiting for new business? I think we in new business, because 15 is sort of new business. Let me go to Lala, then Steve, and then I'll come boom, boom. Lala, you put your hand up, can you put your hand up?
Oh, no, that's stretching.
You were stretching? Steven.
Yes, I would like to make a motion for the Secretary Treasurer of those jobs that were lost. I would like to make a motion that I did talk to him before this, that we would at least file agreements on the job itself was eliminated. I would hope that we would file agreements stating that the job was about the people that was laid off, even though it had a service, it had a package and all that stuff. I don't care. I want him to agree the job itself.
What do you mean the job?
Well, they eliminate the job and want agreements on it.
You said that they eliminated 7 positions. They eliminated 7 positions, not one job.
All right, this.
Okay, well, what about?
I would like us to file agreement.
Well, and we have filed agreements. We filed agreements from 1602, 1601. When they initially cited that they were going to have layoffs, we did those things, but a part of the settlement agreement, and we came down to the end of was dropping 1601 and 1602 to say to one employee that we did. So how do you see agreements? I'm just going to have a quick conversation. We'll look at it a little bit later.
The reason why I would like to make a motion on that is because just in case they try to rehire or bring somebody back, we at least need to agree the job.
Well, we got contact language that says that they hire back in a position, they got to bring those people back first.
I do understand. I understand that at least we file agreements. Therefore, when the situation comes up that we have already agreed, and I would hope that if they deny it, I would like to take it to arbitration.
We'll talk, because I think our settlement agreement was dropping the agreement. So we'll have that discussion. I promise you, we won't have it here because legally we signed some papers saying what we'll do. And I'll put my signature on it and all those things. So what I'm saying to you is that's a conversation we can have later.
Okay.
But the membership can't tell us that to break the legal agreement that we signed.
That's what I'm saying. If I didn't know that, I said if you sign a legal agreement, I guess I can't.
Yeah, we did. So that's what I still had a conversation with you afterwards.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
I mean, I know the workers had signed an agreement to get the pay.
Yeah, the workers signed, but I also signed the agreement.
Right. My question is about taking the job away.
And that's how we'll have it a little deeper afterwards.
Okay. All right.
No vote for overturn, but I put the signature.
All right.
Ms. Harris.
You go ahead, I'll wait.
Ms. Harris.
No, I'll allow you to go, sir.
All right, Kevin, my question, my name is Don Driscoll, FOD. My question has to do with the hospital.
Yes.
Are we any closer or anything being done to solve the gap with us bidding on jobs and getting jobs at the hospital? With our salary being so high compared to them, if we go to bid, they won't come up to us. They still want to give us the lump sum. Because if I'm an electrician, when I go to the hospital as an electrician, with the salary down here, I can't bid on that position because they're not coming off of their maximum, because we're up above their maximum. Because we have to go down to them, they can't come up to us. They'll give you a lump sum, but they won't give anything on your paycheck.
I heard you say it, but I'm going to actually say it again and say it slow.
Okay, the hospital has a policy on their maximum for their jobs.
Okay.
Say an electrician, if I'm an electrician in FOD and I want to go down to the hospital and bid on one of these jobs, because they have 5, 10 jobs a month coming up that we bid on, we can't bid on those jobs because our salary is higher than them, and they won't come up to meet us or let us go down there. They want to give us a lump sum pay on our paycheck and not bring the salary gap up.
I don't have any knowledge or any information. One says you can't bid on it from the hospital. There's absolutely nothing written anywhere that says because you're FOD, you can't bid on a hospital.
Their minimum for electrician is lower than the minimum for FOD electrician. So if I try to go down there, I can't do it because they won't come up to meet my salary.
That's not accurate, because we have had people do it.
Well, they're saying they won't.
Well, what they say and what they do is two different things. But we just had Matt Cope and Spark removed.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so you can bid, you can apply, and then they respond to your application that, hey, we're only willing to pay $18 an hour. You may make 25. Now, that's your choice to take that job or not at that current pay. Now, if we get to that point and they're not willing to pay you and you're the guy who deserves the job, seniority-wise and qualification-wise, then that's something we'll have to approach. So far, we haven't had that come up. They've told us that, we're not going to do that, but we haven't had that opportunity come up to grieve anything yet.
Will the
So Cope and Spark
classification change help with that?
What's that?
Will the classification change that we're going to, if we won't even help with that, will it?
That's a completely different animal. The classification, the reclassification is what you're talking about. That'll be a completely new classification in which the pay structures and everything is going to be reworked. They're well aware of the issue between the disparate wages in FOD and the hospital. The only title we can go to is the Zone Tech 3 that is used in both sides.
Gotcha.
And our Zone Tech 3s are
Way up here.
up here, hospital Zone Tech 3s are down here. That's just how it is. There's some spots, there's a $20 an hour gap
Yes.
between the same titles. They're well aware of that. We have been pressing that issue with them. So they have not come back to us with any information on how that's going to work out or any of the financial stuff yet. We haven't even got through the classification specs yet on that whole process. But as far as your first question, you can apply for any job, the wages have nothing to do with that. If they offer you something lower, it's your choice if you take it or not. If they do offer you something lower, contact us, we'll, start the grievance process then. That has been brought up, we've talked about that before, about them offering, on a lateral especially. So if it's a lateral move, we're saying your pay has to stay the same. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, what I noticed, the camera's back on, I guess everybody gets that.
Okay.
What I noticed is there's coalition building when it comes to the $15 per hour movement on Verizon, on the Wendy's activity, and national level things. And I agree with just about all of that, and you can support that electronically, and I receive emails about that. But where we got nailed in this last contract negotiation was our internal organizing was not up to step. So I think a solution might be unpacking some of what the union is doing in the grievance process. Even though the answers are stalled and things are in process, it might be important at the rank and file membership level for people to know that there's been opposition expressed to the evaluation form and thought about and contested. I think it's important for members to know. The only communication from the local I've received in the last month has been the meeting notice. So maybe the solution is to unpack the grievance process to the point where the members know at every point where there's an employer's offensive, there's a response in the hospital. Or if there's contracting problems at the Secretary of State's office at the employee level that Tim's been fighting, that be unpacked at the membership level. So the internal organizing is not left undone. Because the employees I work with, even though they might sympathize with Wendy's employees making $1 an hour picking produce, or Verizon's issues being very important, that to the membership level means the union is being spread thin on national issues or electoral politics or Senate Bill 5 type issues, rather than being focused on the workplace, which is where they experience the presence of an employer that's hostile towards the union and maybe towards them in particular. So I think we need more communication at the membership level beyond the meeting notice for this meeting. And maybe that's unpacking the grievance procedure where it's at. Because people have fought hard on the grievance procedure, and they fight hard in the workplace every day. That's where their energy is expended. That explains some of the apathy. But we could overcome that with some unpacking of the grievance process, because I think we do good work there. And the members don't know about that, or management's obligation to meet with the local on privatization issues, which is part of the contract. So even letting them know contract provisions that protect them and grievances that are in process would be helpful. to beat back apathy and boost attendance.
My only response to that would be, again, you do have the membership meetings, like the newspaper, in detail, doesn't unpack it, but it speaks to the grievances that have been filed, and the result of averting those grievances. I just truly believe that there needs to be, we have and can never give up on trying to get them engaged, trying to get the membership engaged. But membership must come to those meetings that we hold to talk. And so if we really want to unpack anything, in my opinion, we need to unpack the importance of the membership meeting and what it's for. And get them to understand this is where we fall. Because today, this job is full-time. This job is movement building. This job is takes you in every direction. Students have to fight on all kinds of levels. And we are, and I want to talk about it, we are under-supported. When I say supported, no, Jason doesn't have a ton of students behind him to help him do all the things he needs to do in FOG. Miracle don't have a bunch of students behind her, and I appreciate what Lala and everybody does to help her meet the demands of just the hospital. Stephen is just about the only one of those UEs. So leadership needs some support. The contract, most people, it says one student for every 29 people. They want to walk with sometimes one for every 150. And if you've ever been assigned to a person, it's extremely difficult to have 5 people who call you all the time, let alone 150 of them, and then they begin to complain about the fact that they don't hear back from you, you didn't call me, I didn't hear you, but let me put 200 people on you and call boom, 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 and see how quick that response comes back if I'm meeting you. And Jason laughed at me, so he'll know he was laughing, but I met with 2 members, 2. Conversation lasted 3 hours. Now during that 3-hour span, if I'm rude to them, I answer the phone while I'm in that room over there with them. If I'm being courteous and paying attention to them, all the calls, listening to their complaints for 3 hours of people who saying, he ain't coming back, he didn't do this, he ain't that busy, she ain't that busy. But I'm extremely busy because I'm giving somebody my devoted attention, listening to their every concerns and complaints for 3 hours. And while I'm listening to them, I got 20 others who are saying, I need you to listen to me. And that does not get understood. And then they complain that I called him, he didn't call me back. I called her, she didn't call me back. I called you, guy, you didn't call me back. Crystal, no. No one understands the load that Stewart carries. His or her responsibilities. And so when we say we need other people to stand up and help us carry this load, it's 100% true. So they are busy. They are jammed to the max. And we looking saying, somebody please stand up and help me. They don't cry. I cry for them. Somebody stand up and help them. And Roger, you get ready to help. But stand up and help them. That's the issue we have. And Crystal really ain't got nobody but 2 people. And through life, 3 people. And that is tremendous. And when I started, we had 2 in each building. So there has been, they stretched. 100% to the max. They are stretched. Which messes with our effectiveness, or what they perceive to be our effectiveness, because they don't get that time. So we need you to stand up, help them, help you. That's what we need. Not Crystal, Miracle.
But still me.
All right, and then we getting ready to vote.
I just wanted to add on to what Kenneth said, people don't understand what we actually do. I was in the hospital for 5 days. I took calls all 5 days I was in the hospital, trying to solve problems over a phone. People don't understand that, but yet still they will complain that we're not at their beck and call. We are anytime I'm laying in a hospital bed and I'm taking your call. I'm at your beck and call. I'm there most times when people just call me, I'm just straight there. I spend most of my time at the main hospital because that's where the biggest issues is. Well, Stephen's the only person over in East, so he didn't slam that East. I'm a big girl, but I can't be in two places at one time. People don't seem to understand that. If I could split myself, I would split myself. Unfortunately, I can't do that. So people have to understand that we're there when we can be there, and we're always working on issues regardless. And there is only a handful of us. People just don't seem to understand that part. That's all I wanted to add.
I don't think any of us are looking for sympathy at all. I was taking phone calls at 9:30 last night, put my kids in bed, on the phone, kid in the bed, trying to read a book. We're not looking for sympathy, it's just people don't understand. You guys, when you go on vacation, you go on vacation. When I go on vacation, my phone rings 15 times a day.
No doubt.
There is no off time. I can't turn my phone off and say sorry, because what happens is the National gets a letter, Kevin gets a letter, Phil Bain gets a letter, says Jason didn't answer my phone call, what the hell's going on down there? That's just life. We signed up for it, we know what we got into, but, for all this apathy talk and all this, to me, it's kind of loaded crap. That's just my take, because you get in it, you get out of what you put into it. We had a big meeting down at the power plant, I told them guys the same thing, get off your ass and get to a meeting. We haven't seen you. I haven't seen you either. I'm there every Saturday, first Saturday of the month. Anytime you want to come down and see me, come down and see me. So, it's been 2 or 3 years now, this meeting's been about 10 to 12 people. As far as that goes, I think we got a new motion yet, but we want to make a motion later, so.
Okay, Crystal.
I'm sorry, he's absolutely right. It's kind of been tradition during the summer that we move on every other month until we start back up to school, around the time the kids come back. So I'd like to make a motion to move it to every other month, then coming back in September, going back to our regular meeting, and I'm told to wait.
Let me tell you, and there have been some things over the months, and is that thing on?
Yeah, you wanna?
824 975. Are you sure? Sure. All right.
What's your name?
Will you pick it up? Right there.
Fred Smith?
Yeah, right there. I'm gonna shake this up. You come over here. Put your hand in the back. You can pick it out. It's rigged. It's rigged? It's rigged. Well, you normally win when you cut off the outfit. 824 951. See, you know what I'm saying? It's rigged.
I don't think you've ever missed one, have you? You win every time.
I won 3 or 4 months in a row. I have won 3 or 4 months in a row.
Yeah, I know, that's why it's rigged.
Then we got 5 people in the box.
You ready? $25? Somebody get ready? Oh, it is rigged. 824 952. Right here. Come get it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, just the neighborhood.
Take a lesson. $85.
Big boy.
That's why it's rigged.
Lowe's Lala. No, Lowe's Lala. I'm ready to go.
No,
You just won twice in a row.
Okay.
Mr. Kevin?
Yeah,
Did we ever, did we,
Mr. Kevin? Yes.
Like,
yeah.
824-975. You sure? Sure, you sure? All right.
What's your name?
Read your ticket up, read your ticket up, read your ticket up. Right
Is
there.
it Fred Smith?
Yes, right there, right there. I'm gonna shake this up. You, come over here, put your hand in the bag, put your hand in the bag. Let me take it out. It's rigged. It's rigged? It's rigged. Well, you normally win when you come, so I'll be 824-951. See, you know what I'm saying? It's rigged.
I don't think you've ever missed one, have you? You win every time.
I won 3 or 4 months in a row. I have won 3 or 4 months in a row.
Yeah, I know, that's why it's rigged.
Then we got 5 people in the box.
You ready? $25? Somebody get ready? Oh, it is ready. 824-952.
right here.
Come get it. Come
Yeah, let's hear it.
get it.
Well, I guess the neighbor.
Take it back. $85. That's why it's rigged.
Lowe's Lala that way. You know, no Lowe's Lala that way, I'm ready to go.
No, not out of
Lowe's Lala. You just won twice in a row.
Oh, you got to do? Okay.
Mr. Kevin?
Yeah,
Did we ever, did we,
Mr. Kevin? Yes.
Like,
yeah.